Okay guys, welcome back to the channel. Today's going to be an interesting video. I'm doing a comparison between two sets of monoblock amps that are on consignment trade-in at 3McAUDIO in Houston. And one is a pair of Accuphase monoblocks. And what's unique about Accuphase is that you don't really see them as much in the United States. They're really big in Asia, kind of thought of as the Macintosh of Asia, because they have gauges, really attractive looks, a good legacy, high quality performance, and long-standing value, much like Macintosh delivers. And you don't really see those as much in the States, so hearing a pair and seeing a pair up close was really cool. Another pair that's even rarer to see is a pair of SMcAUDIO monoblocks. These are Steve McCormick's custom monoblocks that he does for various customers. And for this particular customer, these are the former amps owned by a customer that contracted with Steve to do a cost no object build, which I think exceeded in excess of $100,000. I don't know exact amount, but it was a tremendous build. And these were the previous amps that he had gotten from Steve. And I think they were in the 30,000 range. And so these are really high budget amps. And so both of them, I think, are being sold around the same price, secondhand. So they're in the same room at 3McAUDIO. I only had time to do one song comparison, but I thought I would show you that and then give you my thoughts. Obviously on video you can't always get a grasp of nuances, especially in amplifiers. So I'll give you my thoughts at the end, but give you a chance to listen as well on one song. But another thing I'm going to do, there will actually be three versions of the music clip. The first one, I'm kind of showing you how important it is as well to level match things, because the first clip was not level matched on the Accuphase to the SMcAUDIO, and there was a drastic difference in the sound quality that you could perceive from both. But that's because they weren't level matched. Once you level matched them, it's much different, and it brings up another point to bring up when you're auditioning gear, even in your home or wherever, is listening at a volume level that is commensurate with what you're used to, but also conducive to the room. You know, you can play stuff loud in your room sometimes, and it may sound worse or better depending on that volume level. And as well, if you use EQ, that can also balance the sound for a particular listening volume. The whole thing, if you remember back, if you're old enough to remember the loudness buttons, you know, at certain low volumes, you need a boost in bass because it's not as prominent at higher volumes. Sorry for the wind probably picking up on the microphone right now. It's a little windy day here. But same thing is true for when you're listening. Different volumes can give you a different perspective on the performance of different electronics. And sometimes it's not even the electronics that are causing the issue. It's just the volume overloading the room, your ear sensitivity, different things, the room issues may be more pronounced at a higher volume than a lower volume, or vice versa. So just to show you how drastic, just a small level match difference. One sounded not that great on the Accuphase, but once I level matched it to the SMcAUDIO, it sounded much more comparable. So take a listen, and then I'll come back on the flip side and give you my thoughts on the differences between the two and the pluses and minuses. Okay, got a rare arrival here. SMcAUDIO monoblocks. These are ones that Steve had done a while back. I think they retailed 30,000+. As you've seen in my previous videos, not a lot is put into aesthetics, although it's a clean look. These are 400 watts, Class AB. But internal wise, I think you've seen my previous videos, a lot of goes into parts, a lot of goes into the connectors. On the back, I'll show you. So you can A/B test them against the Accuphase here. Accuphase definitely has attractive chassis and gauges, so it all depends on different priorities, and sound quality we'll take a test of soon. Okay, let's talk about my impressions being there firsthand versus what you could probably discern, if any difference from the video, in that really level match. There wasn't a whole big delta of difference between the two amps. Slightly, maybe the Accuphase had a little more bass, but maybe a darker sound, a little more bloated, whereas the McCormick may have been a tad bit more detailed and punchy in the bass. But we're talking about such small, minute differences. Even me there firsthand, and Luis was sitting next to me as well from 3MA. They are both, very level, equal playing field, and cost-wise, they are about selling the same on the secondary market. So, let's look at some other things besides sound that you would look at. Now, looks-wise, on the exterior, I'd give the edge to the Accuphase. The gauges, that's polarizing one way or the other. The heat sinks are cool. The size and heft of the Accuphase is bigger, so that's got more gravitas from a visual perspective. The McCormick's are very clean looking, standard heat sinks, and it has this unique carbon fiber top, which is done, as Steve has alluded to in the past, for performance purposes. Carbon fiber, for my taste, I've never got it with my amps. I just don't. And now seeing it firsthand, I don't think looks wise it throws things in the McCormick SMcAUDIO amps favor for most people's preferences, but for performance preferences, it's got a slight advantage. But again, it brings you to a third aspect that I would grade these amps on, not just looks and sound, but value in terms of long term. And that's where I might give the edge to the Accuphase on looks. Sound, depending on which little bit of difference you like better, is one thing to look at. And then long term value, I would give the edge to the McCormick, because those amps can be customized and upgraded infinitely in the future, in theory, versus buying a legacy model that has already been superseded by the manufacturer, and they don't really do anything to upgrade your current model. So, and then also internally, I'd give the edge to the parts. We took the cover off the McCormick. You've got Jupiter caps, Nichicon Gold, a Plytron transformer, these Furatech connectors on the back. If you did a parts cost probably internally, I'd give the edge to the McCormick SMcAUDIO monoblocks. Exterior, I'd give the edge to the looks-wise to the Accuphase. Sound quality, very similar. Upgradability and future-proofness, like I said, you can send these back to Steve for the latest and greatest. You can change the aesthetics. I'll show you in my upcoming videos with my friend Doug. He's got a totally different aesthetic with his SMcAUDIO monoblocks, and they're really cool. And in my opinion, and others that were at Doug's, much better looking than this particular pair. But just know that that is something that is variable and can change. So, when you weigh everything on a scale, that's what I think my impressions are. Feel free, if you're in Houston, to go check them out yourself. I'm sure they'll let you take these amps home and try them with your speakers, because that's another thing. I only could do one song, and different amps will react differently to different speakers. I will say that the SMcAUDIO monoblocks at Doug's with his NBLs, I've never heard the NBLs sound better, and just powerful, and we played them loud, kept composed the whole time. So it's a testament both to the NBLs and the amplification driving them. So definitely for this kind of money, you're going to want to probably try them out. But those are two great options right now if you're looking for highest levels of performance and some other aspects to look at as well. So hope you enjoyed, and I'll be back soon with more.